Hey, welcome back once again, family. And as you can see, our numbers are growing. Each break, we're going to come back stronger and stronger. But now we have our mighty brother, Kalego Masego, of the Black Vanguard Soldier, as he's known on social media, joining us. And he'll be sharing in a minute some of the action they just came from. But yeah, we are raising up Black August today. Like I said, we're looking to get back in here at least one more time this month to go a little more in depth into how you all can participate in Black August. But we do have two brothers with us, both Kevin and Prince Akili, who actually spent time behind the walls. And we know Black August is said to fast, study, train, and fight. And, you know, a lot of those things we could do on the outside, but also we want to make sure we support our brothers and sisters who are behind the walls. We still have folks like Mumia Abu Jamal, who is a political prisoner. We have Imam Jamil Al-Amin, who is going through some medical challenges right now, a long time fighter for black liberation. But we also have a couple generations now who were politically attacked with the crime bills in the 90s and snatched off the streets and disproportionately put into the prisons for extensive amount of time. So right now I just want to find out from our brothers, what type of support can people give to our brothers and sisters who are behind the walls? I know sometimes it's phone calls, it's letters, it's visits, it's out here advocating, it's getting attorneys. But what type of support was it that you benefited from, or that you needed that you didn't receive, but that those who are behind the walls today could benefit from? Let's start with you, Kevin.
Yeah. That was like one of the saddest like episodes right there, because as we began to develop our organization and stuff like that, like the Study of Black History Group, not many organizations was willing to come into the prison to even speak. You know what I'm saying? We was trying to get organizations to come in and just speak, and we couldn't even get them to come in and speak. And then, you know, we was writing churches and stuff and saying, hey, you know, we would like to get a little money, you know what I'm saying? We need to buy books and stuff. We have these programs. Now, I'm the chair of the Study of Black History Group, writing churches, saying we need a little money so that we can get these books. And then they say, oh, well, I ain't even gonna get into that. Anyway, so I got to the point to where I started sending them a list and nothing. So, you know, from my experience, in my generation, we were let down in the prison system. We were really let down in the prison system, you know, when it came to getting resources, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, we had to, man, it was like rough. I ain't gonna lie, it was rough. So today, I would say organizations, like there's more organizations out here now, because a lot of the brothers who were ex-lifers, you know, ex-lifers that was in there with me, they have organizations down out here on the street. And so there's a lot of brothers who are providing some support to others in the prison system. And I think that's one thing that's important, is that if you have had that prison experience, you need to reach back. I haven't done it as much, but you know, you can reach back and you can help somebody. You know, I have a couple people that I do communicate with, but I haven't been as resourceful as I could have. But then, hell, I've been fighting this battle and have been posed I don't know what. But let me just say that we need resources, we need support, and we need a letter every once in a while too, you know what I'm saying, of encouragement, saying, you know what, y'all doing the right thing. You don't have to support us for our crime or support us for anything like that. Just let us know we're doing the right thing as we move, trying to be black men, so we can return back to society.
How about you, Prince Akili?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, we need individuals to start looking over people who's in jail cases, as far as pro bono attorneys. There's a lot of cases that's in these prisons who show a lot of innocence, who's individuals that have done a lot of good time. And also another thing is, if there's juveniles charged as an adults that's in these prison institutions, we need to abolish them going into prison boards. If they already done their time, those ones should be released. Also, we need more life coaches as well as academic coaches to go to these institutions so they can start having more programs on these yards. We also need individuals who have nonprofit organizations to start running classes to get individuals to start coming out their cells to be more active. And another thing I think is very important, we need more organizations to pay attention PTSD when individuals come out of incarceration, because a lot of the individuals that's incarcerated in the classes that they're attending are not teaching individuals how to live in society, how to go about certain relationship situations, and just regular relations situations before they come out here. Because the stigma that prison holds, far as in be over respectful, um, be over kind, think ahead, be over motivative, out here can harm them, because people don't understand the mindset of where they come from. And it's like coming out here and being on steroids when you just came from a box that hasn't moved for about 17 years. You'll literally feel like you're driving off the cliff and wouldn't know where to go, and then you'll have several people fall back from you, thinking that you're not really mentally there, when the whole time you're having a lot of PTSD from when you was incarcerated. So I think a lot of psychologists need to pay attention to that. Before I stop, another thing that I think is very important, um, if we can find a way to where more cases can be paid attention to, and people can start voting on things that's retroactive and get the release faster, that'd be very helpful.
Okay. Can I just throw one thing in real quick? Just real quick. So, Prince Kitty talked about organizations. You got organizations in the prison system. You got Synanon. You got these little weird organizations that come in, a number of white people, you know what I'm saying? You got the Christian organizations and stuff like that, but they not after that. They after other stuff. You know what I'm saying? They brought homosexuality into the prison system. I walked into a room one day, and these people from the Christian organization was over here with some of the gay people, and they was just like doing their thing. So I just walked out. When you're in prison, you can't really say nothing. But there are organizations. It's just we don't have black organizations that come in there to support black men who are fighting this struggle. That's what the main thing is. Right. And the last thing I want to say is PPTSD, post-prison traumatic stress disorder.
Hey, so again, we are here with our Africa Town and Beyond with this special Black August edition. Speaking to some of our brothers who spent time behind the walls. We just got a couple minutes before this next break, but if both of y'all can answer this real quickly. The 13th Amendment basically said, slavery was done unless it was part of a person's punishment for being incarcerated. In California last year, there was actually a proposition that was voted down to end slavery inside of prisons. And, that said a lot, coming from communities like Orange County and certain areas that look as though not only do our brothers and sisters need to be incarcerated, but they need to be exploited while incarcerated. What are some of your thoughts on how we can push back? Africa Town, we got confrontational politics. We confront the opposition and engage. What are some of your thoughts of how we can potentially change the minds of folks who are saying they want to continue to have slavery in California, or what are some of the ways y'all see us changing that for people? Let's start with you this time, Prince Akila. And again, we got to go to a break real soon.
Yeah, I'm about action first and foremost, and I'm an abolitionist. So we have to do away with the old system and come with new. The only way that they can stop prison from being slave built or structured is to higher the wages. You can't have a person that's working in the kitchen, that's also doing yard crew, that's also just working period in jail, working below minimum wages. They should be working at minimum wages or finding some type of wages in which they fit. It's in their wages that makes it slaves based. So yeah, higher their wages.
I like that.
Let me ask you, Kevin, how can we engage people that are saying, like Prince Akili said, higher their wages, and there are people saying no, they don't want to do it? How can we engage those people who are saying and keep paying people pennies per hour?
Well, I think that we have to look at the greed of these people, because a lot of times what happens is that this is corporate based. You know what I'm saying? So the corporations have basically, bit off a chunk. So we have to educate people to let them know that the same corporations that are destroying our communities out here are also exploiting the people in there. And so when you get that understanding and you have that reality, then you got to be able to say, hey, you know what? I think that, like Prince Akili say, give the regular worker instead of 15 cents an hour, give them $2.50 an hour. And instead of giving PIA, which is Prison Industry Authority, instead of giving them $2.50 an hour, give them maybe $15 an hour. And let's see how that changes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because the corporations will begin to leave, and once the money leaves, then what's your argument then? Prison is about rehabilitation and punishment. Okay, punishment number one, that's what they want. Rehabilitation is second. Okay, as long as you can work on rehabilitation and punishment, okay, then hey, everything else is cool as far as the corporate, media, as far as the corporate thing is concerned. But I just want to say this here is that if we just left the work alone and went to education, just force them to pay the money on the education. That's what I say. Force them to pay the money. Let every person coming out of prison have at least an AA degree. All right, let's put the money there.
And before we take this next break, one of my ideas is that we sanction these businesses. Like we know Starbucks is one of these corporations that, pushes for laws to criminalize us, incarcerate us, but then they benefit off of exploiting prison labor. So we need to push a serious boycott against these type of corporations, identify these communities, and go to those communities that are saying they want to keep us enslaved. We're going to take one more break, then we're going to come back and wrap up this special Black August edition, Africa Town and Beyond, Black Power Hour.
That's right.